Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to be getting started here very soon. We're just going to wait a minute to let everybody get in. Until then, please feel free to participate in the chat room while we wait. All right, my dear monads, just a few more minutes and we will get our live stream started. We're just giving people a chance to get into the room. Okay, should we get started? Let's see some demon faces for Demon Night. I don't know if we're gonna actually see some demons, but those are the key words we'll punch in. Nice. Okay, let's do it. Let me adjust my microphone. And let's hop to this shit. And 3 and 2 and 1 and big face. And yes, I got the scary cam on, I guess. the weird cheap camera I got that looks awful but somewhat artistic. So I'm like, this actually works for Friday night chat during October when we're looking at ghost videos, because it's a very like ghostly offset sort of camera look. So we're going with that. So yes, my name is Jan Erickson. This is my Hyperion channel. I am Hyperion. I react to shit. And this Friday, we are looking at ghost videos. This is Friday night chat, so this is more laid back and more of just a fun thing to do. Now, disclaimer, I don't actually believe in any of this shit that I watch in these videos, but I like to watch them recreationally, so everything I see with extremely skeptical eyes, but I like to have fun. So that's the whole point of Friday Night Chat, is to have fun. Now, before we get started, I would like to say hello to everybody coming in the room. I see Claudia. I see Heretical Response. I see Renaissance Fairy. Joanna. Excellent. Zero. Velveteers. Hope. Good to see you. Joanna. And we have moderators in the house. I see Philip and Mark and Cassie. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming and volunteering some time to keep our chat room safe and on point. I see Katrina, Samantha, VKG. Good to see you. Patricia. Yeah, Katrina's here. I see Katrina. We got our lurkers, our listeners, our royal listeners. Claudia, good to see you too. Nibiru, good to see you. And if you haven't already, please like the live stream. And yeah. And Claudia, thank you so much. That's amazing. Claudia, thank you so much for the super chat and the super sticker. Kicking off Friday night. That means a lot. I seriously need to come up with some sort of, I don't know, like fun thing. I need like my little remote to my light so I can choose a color for people. I love that little fox. So cute. Yes, let's do Lopulums for Claudia. Lopulums for Claudia. All right. I need to get the chat so it actually shows the emojis. I'll figure that out. I gotta tinker with that later. I'm afraid to tinker with it now because I don't want to, like, break things. Awesome. And Morg, thank you so much for the super chat. That's amazing. I really appreciate that. Alright, should we start diving into our spooky videos? Yes. Yes, good to see you, Morg. Good to see everybody here. This is gonna be, like, really fun. I'm gonna be a little bit more, having my eyes a bit more glued to the screen now. Especially now that I'm in a chair that's, like, up where I can actually see my screen better, so I'm curious to see. I just selected, like, a bunch of, like, compilations of ghost videos and stuff like that. We're gonna react to these things. And then I'm kind of gonna do a little bit of a dive into other areas. Like, some things I think it would be cool to do for the spooky season is maybe, like, cursed videos. You know, videos if you watch, you'll be cursed. And then other stuff as well. Like, I don't know if you guys ever explored things like liminal spaces. That kind of stuff creeps me out. That and maybe some short, like, augmented reality games. We're probably going to be doing some extra streams this month, just because there's a lot of stuff I want to see. So, yeah, let's shut off the music and let's get going. Let's go to our viewing content. Oh, that's so creaky. That's so funny. That is way too creaky. Alright, so we're looking at ghost vids. I just randomly selected some things. I believe the demons caught on camera was from Renaissance Fairy, I believe. Let's see. Yes. And if anybody else is a part of the Mindful Monad Discord community, we have a page just to share links, and I asked for spooky ghost caught on tape, like demons caught on tape, like whatever ridiculous paranormal stuff we can watch. And as I said before, recreationally, I'm not presenting things as like, look, girls, this is real. Like, no, like, this is just for fun. I love to pretend, though. It's fun to pretend. Let's go haunting, right? That's so creaky.
Do you believe in ghosts? Tonight, witness the most shocking footage of what many claim are the world's scariest ghosts caught on tape.
I went in the house, and the kitchen cupboards were...
Oh my god. I'm not poking fun, but just like immediately, I went in the house.
opening and closing on their own, and the dishes were flying out of the cupboard. I mean, literally, as if somebody had taken a Frisbee and were flinging them from the cupboard.
I'd be sitting there watching television, and the channels would just start flipping.
Wow, the 90s. Yes, late 90s. It's totally showing.
Being faster and faster.
I turned to my husband and I said, honey, I know you're going to think I'm completely crazy, but I feel there's an evil spirit here in the house.
This bungalow in the sleepy harbor town of San Pedro, California, is the site of one of the most bizarre poltergeist encounters ever recorded. A woman, who we'll call Jackie, and her 2 infant children have been living with what she believes is an evil presence. Then one day, her fears become reality. As cameraman Barry Conrad shoots this video, a strange red liquid of unknown origin begins oozing from the house.
I mean, where are they? How hot is it? I have many questions about the ooze from the house. It's like the ooze, from like the second Ghostbusters. Yeah, rust. It's just a bit of rust eking out of the lead paint job you have in your house, but hey.
Coming out of everywhere, it was just dripping out of the walls.
Yeah.
Everyone just left except us. Things are starting to drip out of the cabinets. Nobody believes us, but it's happening.
There it is.
There it is, right there. It's dripping.
A few days later, life in Jackie's home becomes even more chaotic.
Things just started happening around the house. Objects were being thrown, the kids' toys thrown around, you'd hear noises.
Finally, Jackie can take no more. She leaves Barry Conrad this frantic message.
I'm not staying here, Barry. I'm out of here. I gotta get out of here. I can't stay here.
Barry, we gotta get the fuck out, Barry. Barry, we ain't fucking around. We gotta get the fuck out.
Barry and his team rush to the scene.
Barry and his team rushing to the scene.
Jeff Wheatcraft and a photographer, Gary Bohm, spend several months investigating the mysterious sounds coming from the attic. It's a decision they will soon live to regret.
Oh, I feel like I've seen this before. I've seen so much ghost shit, like, by the time I see shit again, it's new to me.
I feel a little queasy about going up there, but then I guess I'll go up. If I got a partner, why not so bad?
I try and tell him, whatever it is, it doesn't want us here, it doesn't want you here, it doesn't want me here. Let's just get out of here.
Suddenly, they hear a strange noise coming from above.
There were 3 snapping sounds, and they were clear as bell. And they were in my left ear, and they went like this.
Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a hunting scene.
The men claim at that moment they were attacked.
What's wrong? What happened? I told you, get down, get down! This isn't a good idea. This isn't a good idea. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, please.
This isn't a good idea.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Whoa. It's definitely raising up.
Jeff, please come here. Get this for me. Get the mic.
Nice kicks.
Jeff, here you go, buddy. Here you go. Here you go. What the hell happened? Are you okay, buddy? God. Look at his neck. Jeff, what's behind your neck?
I don't know what's on my neck.
A piece of rope. Gary, get...
The cord mysteriously appeared around his neck. How valid this is, I have no idea. But given the retro sort of feel of the video, which I'm always about, it's a little spooky. This would make it for a great movie, I think.
At first I saw the look of terror on his face. It's just, he was just terrified. His glasses were gone, and then we saw something like a cord that was around his neck.
It ended up over my head like this, and then it was twisted like this. I don't know how far or to what degree, but I know it was twisted because it was tied around my neck. And then
And
it
it's
was hung
still
up
around
over
my
the
neck right now, as you see before you. This thing is still around my neck, twisted as can be. Look at it twisted around my neck.
nail on one of the cross members that go across the attic.
The flash of Gary's camera.
Jesus Christ. What, did they just capture it at the right time? How long was he like that?
Lights up the attic and captures what appears to be an assault.
Get a picture of his neck. Look at this.
Look at his neck.
Let's see, Laura LeFleur asks, do you ever watch Mr. Bolin on YouTube? Yeah, I watch Mr. Bolin. I love Mr. Bolin. There was a time where I was, feeling very ill and I was laying on the floor and I couldn't really, watch TV, but I would listen to Mr. Bolin, so I totally like that.
Oh, my God.
There were rope burns in his neck. He was in shock. He didn't know what had happened to him. He remembers suddenly, blacking out for an instant.
Yeah, Jeff, what happened? Put something around my neck.
When I look back on the whole incident, I knew that it's possible I could have been close to death. There's no question about that.
According to eyewitnesses, Jackie makes one more startling discovery just before dawn. A mysterious red imprint appears on the forehead of a 4-month-old daughter.
Come on, you guys, let's go. Please, let's go. Please, let's go. Please, what happened to her? Oh, my God. I left that night. I know.
Why is the baby there to begin with? Get the baby out of the fucking haunted house.
Never lived there again. I took my kids and left.
In the history of organized psychical research or paranormal research, which began in England in 1882, there have only been a handful of reported cases where the phenomena was directly and distinctly attacking people in the environment or the investigators. And then there is this San Pedro case.
Today, the house is quiet, so it's impossible to know what really happened here. Jackie and the kids got out.
Every one of these, images of this woman, she is just out of her mind. I don't know what's going on, but obviously she's disturbed.
But her frightening memories will never end.
Maybe it's because of the hideous decor on the inside of the house. I don't know, because it's not very appeasing, I'll tell you what. Is it the snarls in her hair? Is it the demons in the attic? We don't know.
3,000 miles away in Ohio, another family believes they're not alone.
The family had been hearing noises at night. They would wake up in the morning and find things moved, overturned, broken dishes and glasses.
Searching for the cause, the father leaves a video camera rolling overnight. This is his amazing videotape.
This is his amazing videotape. Look at that quality. Look at that high definition. Look at that amazing detail in that video. My God. It's blowing me away. It's better than eyesight itself.
Watch as the glass moves across the table, apparently on its own.
And then we see a typewriter move, which is not plugged in.
Next,
it's battery powered. Dun dun dun.
A chair slides away from the table, and the reclining chair mysteriously begins to rock back and forth.
Then we hear the front door of the house, left of the rocking chair, open and then close.
John Osborne offers his opinion of these disturbing images.
I've watched it countless times looking for any evidence of foul play, and I couldn't find it.
Well, I mean, you can't see the bottom of the chair. You can't see any... I mean, I've seen a lot of ghost videos. Even quintessential wire hiding is still working pretty well, if you can do it correctly. That in this day and age, everybody's got a fucking, like, green bodysuit. Which you can, like, if you film, like, a good, like, still shot, you can overlay ghost stuff by simply putting on a green bodysuit and doing some, like, keying. Jan from under the table, I'm looking for your snacks.
Across the country, a man renovating his house videotapes something that appears to be even more disturbing.
Contractors were
Oh my God, a vacuum?
complaining that they would come in the morning and their tools would be moved and there would be damage. So he decided to set up a hidden camera to catch vandals.
But what the camera records is not the work of a vandal.
Well, the chair in this shot is pretty shocking, sliding across the floor. But the most shocking part of this particular piece of footage is the piece of sheetrock that's actually being ripped from the wall and pulled up and away. If it were just falling, it would have fallen just straight down under the force.
The ghost is like, this sheet rocking is so awful. Do it again.
Gravity.
I'm gonna sit in this chair until it's done correctly.
This, on the other hand, was pulled up and away. It's very astounding stuff.
Although unsettling, these poltergeists appear to mean no harm.
I'm sorry. It's like, oh, they don't mean any harm, but I would not want to live in a place with that shit going on, okay? That's still psychological damage. I don't need my heart rate to increase periodically without any, like, heads up at all. I don't need that. I don't need an unexpected rise out of the day, okay? Like, oh, my goodness, did you move the chair? Like, no, okay? I get frightened enough from the toaster popping. I have to leave the room. The last thing I need is for a poltergeist to be like, I don't like the sheetrock, and rip it off the fucking wall. What do you mean it doesn't mean any harm?
But other cases are far more sinister. Meet professional demonologists.
What if it moved that chair when I was getting ready to sit down in it, and then my ass hit the floor, okay? I'm pretty sure it was just practicing and gearing up to that, okay? But of course it means harm. It's gearing up, bitch!
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
A poltergeist can be terrifying. So anybody says that a poltergeist is mischievous, they better take a second look.
During their 50 years of hunting ghosts, Ed and Lorraine claim to have encountered hundreds of poltergeists. They've also been the subject of numerous books and have consulted on several high-profile cases, including the
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Amityville Horror.
I mean, I do know, like, I've looked up on the Warrens, but there's some part of them where I swear they generated a lot of their own income.
Poltergeist is nothing more than a devil or a demon as far as we're concerned. People say, this guy's going back into the medieval ages. There are no such things as devils or demons. Yes, there are.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
The Warrens feel that some of the most compelling evidence ever recorded has been videotaped by them in this connection.
I don't know, the human mind is so bizarre. Like, you can, like, subconsciously link up with other people and just, like, have, like, a multiple person hallucination.
At home. For months, the family, whose faces are obscured to protect their identity, have been tormented by what they fear is a poltergeist. Ed attempts to communicate with the troubled spirit.
One knock for yes, two for no. Are you a man? Are you a boy?
The mother leans against the kitchen table, her hands in full view as Ed continues asking questions.
You want the people in this house to move? One knock for yes, two for no. Yes. Okay. Who is it that you don't like the most here? Is it? Is it? Is it their father?
Is it the maid? Is it the dog? Should we get rid of the dog? Is it the wallpaper? God damn it, I knew it. It's the wallpaper. We shouldn't have chosen this hideous pattern. God damn it.
Is it their mother?
Oh my God.
Okay. I command you to reveal your identity.
Next.
The demon is like Gilbert. My name is Dennis.
Ed decides to confront the poltergeist.
No, it's Albert. I don't know.
Alone.
Give me some sign. Is that you moving something?
No, no.
Give me some
No, it was the wind.
sign that you're here. What I did was use religious provocation. I have to provoke it into some type of outward manifestation. And that was my point in doing that. In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal your identity.
On the following night, the family
Whenever I see furniture moving, I just think of, like, the Beauty and the Beast song, like, be our guest, be our guest. Like, it's just trying to sing you a song.
reports that the poltergeist seems to be more active than ever. Only now, its attention is focused on the family's 10-year-old daughter.
The little girl is trying to do her homework, but you can see that the chair keeps sliding backwards. You're holding it down, aren't you? It's got that much strength.
Leave! Get out of the house! Why are you still there while that's going on? Yeah, let's keep coloring in our coloring books. I would be like, I'd pick up my kid under my arm and be like, we're done. Out. Or the chair. Everything that moves. Every piece of furniture. The chair, out in the yard. The table, out in the yard. Dolls, out in the yard. Everything that gets moved, just out in the yard. It's going out, okay? It's leaving.
Do it. If you watch, you can see the little girl's legs are up on the rungs of the chair. She's not pushing herself up from the floor. The mother is not tipping that chair backwards. No. Nobody is touching that table. The table moves of its own volition.
Out in the yard.
The Warrens quickly
New
arrange
table.
for 3 priests to perform an exorcism in the home, and the disturbance ends. But for how long? Could the angry poltergeist ever return?
We have found that it can be quieted down, but then it'll escalate again. We still keep our fingers crossed because it could, and we hope and pray it don't.
Jesus. What was with the cat meow?
Awoke from a dream, and I looked above my head, and I saw the torso of my brother.
Just the torso? Nothing else? That's a little concerning.
Floating above my head.
And this presence comes in the room, and I literally get paralyzed. My body gets paralyzed, and it's as if somebody's holding
Sleep paralysis is a son of a bitch, but it happens to the best of us.
me down, and I can't move, and I can't speak.
He had this like beautiful white aura all around him, and I remember him just
Really? Mine was creamsicle.
looking at me and telepathically telling me not to be afraid, that he wasn't going to hurt me.
So I couldn't scream, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. So I closed my eyes, I opened them again, and she's still standing there, and she's just staring at me like this.
She's like, you're gonna go out in that outfit? I don't think so. If you're gonna go out in that outfit, then I'm gonna tip the fucking picture off the goddamn walls.
When the Australian rock group Wildland set out to shoot this music video, they never expected to make contact with the other side.
I remember this shit.
Everyone who was there that day insists the figure isn't human.
When I shot it, there was no one there. I had people beside me looking the same way that I was looking. No one was there. Totally unexplained.
I mean, besides the crew, there was nobody, for kilometres around the place. There was just nobody anywhere.
Some believe that this ghostly apparition is the spirit of a miner lost years ago in a terrible disaster.
There were numerous accidents in the mine where men were killed. There were men that had their heads severed there. There were a number of men who drowned. One particular body was found not far from the site of where the ghost appeared.
But there is one more possible explanation. In the 1950s, young priests were schooled in this desolate place. One of them met a tragic end.
The locals tell us there was a suicide which occurred at the site where the video took place.
Is this mysterious figure wearing the robes of a holy man? No one will ever know for sure, but the people who were there...
I mean, that pretty much sums up all these videos. No one will ever know for sure. But goddamn, here are these ghost videos.
That day, think they know the answer.
There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that that was a ghost. That definitely was a ghost.
Back in the United States, another apparition is believed to have been caught on tape. For months, the family inside this Pennsylvania home claimed to hear strange footsteps in the middle of the night. In an attempt to determine the origin of these ghostly noises, the family sets up a video camera in the hallway. This is what it captures.
A shiny shine.
Watch as the glowing shape floats down the corridor, then appears to enter a doorway.
That looks like a piece of like a spider web. I don't know. Spider web can float.
What is this phantom menace?
Yeah, that totally looks like dusty spider web.
Edgar Harris believes that it is the arm of his dead mother who once lived.
I'm sorry, I did not expect that. It could be a piece of spiderweb could be my mother's arm. I don't know.
The house.
She had a tendency to get up and wander at night, so
that's creepy.
That's probably what she's doing now. She's wandering around.
Not that.
Why does it seem that his mother is haunting their home? Well, Edgar thinks she's become the guardian spirit of her great-grand...
I know, just the arm. Just the arm is coming through, and if you are fucking up in life, it's gonna bitch slap you.
Son who now lives there.
I think she comes and watches him when he's in his cradle at night and just watches over everybody in the house.
She just stands there staring at you while you sleep. It's so endearing.
This really a gentle spirit from beyond? For Edgar, the videotape speaks for itself. But this mystifying footage pales in comparison to what has been captured here, in Greencastle, Indiana. This weird tale begins with these two men, Guy Winters and Terry Lambert. For years, Guy and Terry have heard rumours about a haunted mansion on the outskirts of town.
People would see the ghost of a female, an apparition that would drift down the lane that led to this old house.
Intrigued, the men decide to investigate the deserted house with their own cameras. This is the actual videotape from that unforgettable night.
Storm was going, lightning crashing.
Lightning like I've never seen. It was like dripping plastic out of the sky. Really strange.
And in the clump of trees there was this big two-story old brick mansion, abandoned, kind of dilapidated looking.
Unaware of what awaits them, Guy
This is hell!
and Terry go inside.
Everything throwing shadows through the house, so it was pretty eerie. And basically, we took a series of pictures all through the house, the upstairs, downstairs, stairwells.
Terry claims that he then ventured back outside to take more photos.
I took a series of 3 pictures of an upstairs window. And after I took that series of pictures, I went around to the back of the home and I took a picture of a doorway.
Still in the house, Guy continues his investigation. But suddenly, he feels that he is no longer alone.
I felt this presence come over me, and the smell was like sulfur and roses.
Sulfur and
Real
roses? That sounds like a kick-ass fucking perfume if you ask me. I want like a fancy perfume that's like sulfur and roses, if it's done right. I mean, otherwise it just smells like eggs.
Strong smell.
You hear that? Heartbeat?
Pump, 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 pump. And this heartbeat was in my head, but it wasn't my own heartbeat. I really felt like I was dying. This feeling of anxiety was just overwhelming. And I was afraid I wasn't going to make it out of there.
Guy and Terry run from the house, afraid to stop until they reach the safety of their van. But this ghost story is far from over. When Terry develops the film from his still camera, he's shocked by what he sees. 3 consecutive pictures of what appears to be a woman glowing in a pink
I don't know about that.
light, floating in the second-story window.
I mean, if that's a flash, like, couldn't that just be glare?
Another pink shape is captured at the back door.
Pretty much, it blew me away, I have to say. I've never seen anything like that on film.
Could this be the ghost of Greencastle, or merely a photographic abnormality? To find out, Guy and Terry showed the pictures to their friend, photo expert Mick Orman.
What is in the picture came from the negatives. It's very interesting and a little unnerving.
Next, these mysterious images were analysed by a computer graphics expert, Sean Dempsey. It's during Sean's high-tech examination that the photograph reveals another startling secret.
And then I tried something called bas relief, which basically takes the light and dark parts of the picture and emphasizes them. And I got the creepiest thing from this one photo. Her face, and I don't know how else to describe it.
Is that necessary? Is that necessary? If you're a ghost, is it necessary to be creepy? Is that like the rule? Like, you're a ghost, you must be creepy.
But that, to me, just looks like a skull. I've got to be honest. It's either a real photo of a ghost, or it was done with a photographic technique that I don't know about.
With experts at a loss for answers, Guy and Terry have their own theory. They now believe they've photographed a real ghost. But if it's true, then whose spirit is it?
Whose spirit is it?
Guy believes that the Pink Lady is a woman who lived and died here in the early 20th century. Her name? Irene O'Hare, the same name that they found scratched onto one of the bedroom walls. Guy and Terry make more trips to the mansion, but the ghost of Greencastle does not reappear. However, the men capture two other images that are just as difficult to explain. The first is this photograph of what appears to be a woman in a flowing gown. Due to her intense colour, she is known as the Gold Ghost. The second strange event occurs while Guy takes pictures of the mansion. Suddenly, three cloud-like shapes fly by. Is this merely fog or some
mist
type
or
of mist?
breath or
If so,
anything?
it would need a strong breeze to travel this fast. But Guy's clothes and hair never move, indicating that no wind is blowing. Unfortunately, these and other questions may never be answered, because the mansion was destroyed.
Joy, release of all worry, tension.
I could feel the air in my ear. I could feel like a vapor going into my ear. She was trying to tell me something. And I screamed. I mean, I screamed because I was so terrified.
On the island of Hawaii lives a 5-year-old girl who seems to have a ghostly guardian. Her name, Carissa. Since she was 4 months old, her family believes that she has been surrounded by a mysterious presence.
I think I remember this. It's the baby that no matter how many pictures they took with different kinds of cameras, there was always this one blur going on about it. Are you scratchy?
She kept looking behind my left shoulder, and she kept giggling. Then I just put her down on the floor. I laid her down on a quilt and took 3 photos of her. And when I had it developed, the pictures came back and there were these 2 ribbon-looking like objects, and she was looking down at it.
No one can see these ghostly images, except in photographs.
I took 2 photos of her in her swing, and when we had the photos developed, they were back in the photos.
It's a camera strap.
Picture after picture, these unusual entities have been captured hovering near Carissa. Her family insist that whatever is behind this phenomenon is not of this world.
Until somebody can give me a really great argument that these aren't what we think they are, then I'm going to believe that they are some sort of being that's allowing us to photograph them.
Of course, the only person who can shed any light on the subject is Carissa, but she's too afraid to talk.
When I put her to bed at night, sometimes she'll say, "They're scaring me." When I question her about it, I can't get any real definite answer out of her.
So for now, Carissa's family says that all they can do is accept these unusual visitors.
What we're seeing in the photos, it's just saying, we're here, we're a part of your world, You have to trust and believe in us too.
I
And
guess
just
that's a
because you can't
lot
see us
of
with
that's a
your
lot of
eyes
assigning your
doesn't
own.
mean that we don't exist.
They're not saying that. It's she's just thinking that. So it's like her own subconscious, but like nothing's actually saying that to her.
Carissa's story is strangely similar to the film The Sixth Sense.
You know the accident up there?
Yeah.
Someone got hurt.
They did?
A lady. She broke her neck.
Oh my God, but you can see her?
Yes.
Where is she?
Entertainment.
He walked away, then walked through the other way.
Kids, okay, little kids seeing ghosts is fucking creepy. Like, beyond creepy.
Justin also claims to have been visited by a second apparition, that of a young girl.
I didn't say anything. I was just scared and going under my covers and peeking under, and then she's still there. And she's coming closer and closer and closer and closer.
Ah, stop it.
James Van Praagh, world-renowned medium and
Well, time to get a new kid.
best-selling author of Talking to Heaven, visits the Quinns' Connecticut home in an attempt to make contact with the ghosts.
Hello, how are you? Good.
As cameras roll, Van Praagh meets Justin for the very first time.
Hi, Justin. How are you? Good. When I first walked into this house, I felt definitely a denseness to it, a denseness of the energy in the house. You can sit here? I'll sit up here.
Next, Van Praagh begins the delicate process of questioning the shy boy.
Do you see them stand there?
Yeah, I said one little girl and standing in my room.
What did she look like? Was she blonde hair?
Her had scribbly hair.
I've worked with many, many children, and children are very aware. They're very open. They're very sensitive to the spirit world because they're very close to the spirit world. Where's your room?
Justin shows Van Praagh where he first saw images of the man and the little girl.
Oh, this is a nice room. Is this where you saw the little girl?
This is when I was
You were here. And were you sleeping or were you awake?
awake.
You were awake.
Every single time I'm awake.
Next, they move to the basement where Justin also claims to have seen the two apparitions.
Are they in that room there?
They're in the closet hiding.
What do you think she likes to play in here?
The toys.
The toys, exactly. She likes the toys.
And sometimes her plays with the game.
Why would these spirits be haunting this otherwise happy home? During Van Praagh's investigation, he senses what could be the answer.
I have a feeling that around this area, this location, was a place where there were gallows. And that might sound very, very strange, but a place where there were people that were killed.
Oh, well, that's happy. What the fuck? They couldn't have just, like, come to that conclusion for, all right, time to move. Time to fucking move. Pack it up, we're getting out. Roll them up.
After an hour with the boy, Van Praagh comes to a shocking conclusion. Justin has been seeing ghosts. Van Praagh knows because he believes he's seen them too. Back in the kitchen, he explains his psychic vision to Justin's mother.
I just tuned in to see what was going on. What I picked up was, I picked up two girls. I picked up also one with long blonde hair, similar to yours but lighter. Okay. And I picked up there was a man holding their hands. And the man I picked up, it was very interesting because it felt like a father figure to me. And I saw a very long, drawn face.
Holding hands with
His
this
cheeks are
man.
much thinner.
Van Praagh describes the spirit
He totally had the daddy vibe.
to a police sketch artist.
Much longer thin.
Much longer?
Much thinner.
Much thinner.
And much rounder eyes. And dark.
Now, for the first time ever, the rest of the world can see the visions that have been haunting Justin.
Look at her. That's that girl in your bedroom, huh? Is that her? Yeah. Does that look like her?
Did he just pay him money? Why is that kid holding money? Are they just like, here kid, here's $2. Read this line. What the hell? Is that like, what? Why does that kid have, what? Am I missing something? Do they explain it? Did I miss something?
Longer? Much thinner.
Much thinner.
And much rounder eyes. And dark.
Now, for the first time ever, the rest of the world can see the visions that have been haunting Justin.
Look at her. That's that girl in your bedroom, huh? Is that her? Yeah. Does that look like her? Yeah. I think that indeed he does.
No, they didn't even explain the money. They didn't even explain the money. They didn't even explain the money in his hand. They totally grabbed that kid. They're totally like, here's $2. Say this line. Do as we say. They didn't even crop it up out of the way. Like, what the We caught you. We caught you.
Spirits in the house. He's very attuned to that energy. And his...
Yeah, he's very in tune to the green energy, if you know what I mean.
Mind has not been clouded yet by society. So he's very aware, very open.
Yes, it is. His mind is totally clouded by society because you just paid him to nod his head.
But very innocent, if you will.
Oh
so
my
what does
God.
the future hold for
We just saw that.
Justin and his real-life sixth sense? Only the spirits know for sure. And for now, they're not telling.
Why I see them.
Inside this abandoned house, deep within the basement, Linda encounters luminous and...
That kid was so paid off to nod his head. That's amazing.
entities known as orbs, spheres of glowing energy believed to be spirits returning to the physical world.
There it went right up her arm. It went right up her arm, right to the ceiling.
I can feel when there are orbs around. It's like I get a tingling up my spine.
There's one went right past her fingertips. There comes another one down, and it's going left, going over to the top of the steps.
Renowned parapsychologist Dr. Andrew Nichols has investigated more than 600 cases of the paranormal. Dr. Nichols carefully examines the home.
I was able to take both a temperature measurement and electromagnetic field measurement of a couple of the orbs, and they are emitting a very high electromagnetic field, and they're about 10 degrees hotter than the surrounding environment, which indicates to me that they're essentially a ball of energy.
Nichols believes that the magnetic field causes people with psychic abilities to be even more sensitive.
I'm sorry, can I listen to what he said
one
again?
went right past her fingertips. There comes another one down, and it's going left, going over to the top of the steps.
Renowned parapsychologist Dr. Andrew Nichols has investigated more than 600 cases of the paranormal. Dr. Nichols carefully examines the home.
I was able to take both a temperature measurement and electromagnetic field measurement of a couple of the orbs, and they are emitting a very high electromagnetic field, and they're about 10 degrees hotter than the surrounding environment.
10 degrees hotter than the surrounding environment? Yeah, so are my farts.
Which indicates to me that they're essentially a ball of energy.
Nichols believes that the magnetic field causes people with psychic abilities to be even more sensitive.
Right, it was right in front of her coming. Yeah, Linda.
Happily, the house is no longer abandoned, and the new owners are interested in further exploring this vital link to the world beyond.
Big giant dust.
Some of the most mysterious orbs ever witnessed are here, in Colorado's Black Forest.
My house is different from other houses because...
Then move. If your house is different from other houses, then move.
Because mine's kind of haunted.
Move. Immediately move.
The man who captured them on videotape is this boy's father, Steve Lee.
I've never been exposed to anything like this, paranormal or otherwise, so, you know, we didn't have a clue.
Yes, you have. based on your accent, you live in an area where you experience lots of paranormal things in the sky, in your house, all over, in your dreams. It's just all one big weird paranormal thing.
As to what was going on.
Steve's journey into the supernatural begins innocently enough. In 1992, he and his family moved into what they thought was their dream house. But soon after, their dream took a frightening turn.
We went on a hunting trip for like 10 days up in the mountains with the whole family.
Up in the mountains with the whole family. We went on a hunting trip up in the mountains with the whole family.
And when we got back, that's when things really started to happen.
You hunted on sacred ground.
We immediately noticed that the furniture was not in the same spot. We was hearing
Has anybody ever watched, like, the Evil Dead series? I love that shit.
voices, shadowy figures that you're not really sure if you're seeing or not. The boys were really terrified because of the fact they didn't know who it was, and I didn't know who it was.
Determined to prove that these events were man-made, Steve installed high-tech security cameras around his property. But the images they captured were unlike anything he'd seen.
Oh, here we go. What did he capture?
Small orbs are videotaped floating through different parts of the house.
I don't have a clue, and still don't have a clue as to what it is.
Then, outside, Steve tapes
are pretty
larger orbs
interesting.
that are even harder to explain. Notice how they fly around the trees and even change direction. Steve believes that these orbs are not created by torches or any known camera trick.
Well, okay. When cameras are at a low frame per rate, it can look like things are ghostly when they move around. That's when you move your hand and you see the sort of blurring effect versus, you know, a high rate of frames where you wouldn't see so much of that.
But the most amazing discovery is yet to come. One night, while Steve and his family are sleeping, a camera is left running. This is what it records. The most incredible orb ever
That's actually weird.
caught on tape. Its astonishing size, brightness, and details seem to defy scientific explanation. Dr. Michael
is pretty
Koontz
interesting.
consults with the police on occult activities. He visits Steve's home and agrees with him. It holds some disturbing
Agrees with
mysteries.
him.
When I'm out here at night, I feel almost as if I'm being watched, that there are other people or
That's it. That's the proof. That's all we need. He's out there at night and he feels like he's being watched. Case closed. Let's go home.
energy, if you will, around me. It's a sensation of awareness and of power of energy.
After witnessing these eerie events, do Steve and his family ever think about leaving the Black Forest?
We decided long ago that we would not let anything chase us from here or run us from our house, whether it be man-made or otherwise.
It's a very...
So Steve continues to videotape the ghostly glows that surround his house, in the hope that one day he'll discover who or what might be visiting from the spirit world.
And when I looked over at the mirror, there was this fog, kind of like smoke. It was cold.
And the mist was above me on the steps. It was definitely female. I don't know how I can say that because it was a mist and not a human form.
I knew right then that I'd seen a ghost because there's no other way you can explain.
Built in 1869, the now abandoned house is shrouded in legends of violence and fear.
There was supposed to be a lady that was either drowned or murdered.
The
in
meth
bathtub.
smoke would explain all the spiders. I mean...
There's been folklore that somebody hung themselves there.
The woman that haunted it had been somebody that her husband had been killed in the Civil War.
Regardless of what is fact or fiction, residents and paranormal experts believe the house is haunted.
We think that there are at least 10 spirits here.
And they think the spirits have gathered in the basement. No sunlight penetrates these rooms, so the best way to film paranormal activity here is with an infrared camera.
Yeah, this is actual.
This is the wine cellar. This is where she gets the most activity.
Dr. Renee Horath and a group of fellow researchers descend into the basement with their video cameras rolling. What they experience, they'll never forget.
We were kind of chatting and just walking around, and suddenly we walked into a different room, and there was a very, very thick mist. It almost looked like a thick smoke.
Oh my God, I can see it moving right around in front of me.
Is this just a freak of nature, or the physical manifestation of a ghost?
Oh, that's
oh my
kind of
God.
odd.
Okay, I'm recording. I am on record.
But that isn't
we
dust
can
at
really
all?
see it now.
I could feel it, even through my clothing, I could feel it. Felt like feathers were brushing against my body.
Oh, big time, miss. Big time. Big time.
Renee and the other witnesses dismissed the theory that the mist is humidity or some other substance of this world.
Almost quit. Did you get it?
If it were mist, we figured it would leave condensation on our lenses of our cameras. You would feel it on your skin, on your clothes, but there was nothing like that. It felt electric.
Oh my gosh.
Even harder to explain is the way the mist moves around the basement, as if it has a will of its own.
Oh my God. Oh, and you know what? I can see it changing directions. Now, as witnesses on this,
Again,
this
fart.
room was clear when we left it. It was totally clear when we left it just a few minutes ago.
Boring.
Then, as quickly as it
That's a boring one. Ooh, missed. Whatever.
Nothing to do with Christianity or religion. These strange and dangerous phenomena occur without secret. Today we present demons caught on camera. Many of the videos that you are about to see below were sent by my audience. If you know or have similar videos that you would like for me to see,
Let's see it.
do not
I want the
hesitate to send them
pants
as a
spooked
direct
off me.
message to my official Facebook. Without further ado, let's begin. Number 5. This opening video is of a case that has extremely frightened a young group of people who wanted to spend a pleasant weekend in the middle of nature. They had set up their tents in a wooded area near a stream.
Alright, hold on a sec. I'm gonna go pee. Alright, I want to see some demons, damn it.
The first night, they lit a big bonfire to celebrate and socialize as a group. Although, after 2 in the morning, when everyone was in their tents,
I better be going to bed thinking I need the lights on!
they began to hear strange sounds coming from a distance outside. Sounds that they attributed to the fauna of the sector, so they didn't give
Was it dad sounds? Because that could be pretty disturbing.
it much importance, and they went to sleep. The next night, and a few minutes before 3 a.m., one of them who had stayed awake began to hear the same noises as the previous night. This time, he gathered up courage, left his tent, and began to record the surroundings of the area. When seconds later, in front of his eyes, he saw this.
What did he see? Okay, a pair of eyes. That's not an animal. That's not a raccoon or like a bobcat.
What would you do
None of
if you
that.
came across something like this? Well, surely the same thing that this young man did with his friends. Wake everyone up and get out of there as quickly as possible. But the most shocking thing was when later, according to locals, they were told that an old woman lived nearby who performed.
What do you mean? Oh, it's just an old lady that lives nearby. Her eyes glow when she goes for a walk at midnight, but other than that, she's just fine. Peach, actually.
Witchcraft rituals. Dark acts that for some reason functioned as a sort of portal to the underworld, attracting these disturbing demonic entities that were wandering around.
But her tamales are killer.
Could that be true? Was what this young man recorded a demon? Tell me what you think. Number 4. Boca Jr. is a loyal subscriber from Argentina. He was in charge of sending me footage that, as he confesses, forms part of one of the most shocking moments of his life.
Oh no.
In his email, he comments that at night he went out with a friend to buy at a nearby store. But when they returned, a man with a fearful expression approached them. This person asked them if they had seen an old man with goat legs pass by.
No. Thank you, sir. By the way, what kind of pot are you on?
At first, they thought he was joking, but after he insisted, and when they noticed the man's terrified face, they decided to visit a friend's house, where security camera faces the street where this being supposedly passed. When reviewing the images, the two were extremely shocked, as this is what they found.
Well, shit, what the fuck is that? Okay, it's a dude running, so what? Again, these crappy, like, security cameras don't have a lot of quality to them. They don't have a lot of, like, frames per rate, so, I don't know. Things can look ghostly. Yeah, it just looks like a dude running. What's so special about it?
Even though the resolution is not good enough, the image would confirm the sayings of that man, since it is possible to distinguish a person whose lower extremities resemble the hind legs of an animal. Can you distinguish?
No. No. That does not resemble a lower half of an animal. It looks like a regular ass, like, person running. That does not resemble a lower half of an animal. What the fuck is... Who is smoking what here? No. That looks like regular legs. What the hell?
Even though the resolution is not good enough, the image would confirm the sayings of that man, since it is possible to distinguish a person whose lower extremities resemble the hind legs of an animal. Can you distinguish it? The witness assures that that old man had bright red eyes that stood out at night, and that he passed by him muttering incomprehensible phrases with a strange tone of voice that froze his blood. Although he cannot prove it, our subscriber believes that that being was a demon that,
Are you sure that isn't somebody running in, like, high heels or something?
for some reason,
Like platinum heels?
was present in that place.
That can look pretty animalistic.
Do you think it corresponds to a demonic entity? Let me know what you think. The following corresponds to a series of recordings sent by a subscriber who, for personal reasons, refused to reveal her identity. She only specifies that she is a high school student at Seaside, and that for some time now both the students and the teaching staff have witnessed incredible manifestations that are presented throughout the day in full view of everyone. Inexplicable occurrences that she sent for us to analyze and see what they could be facing. Pay attention.
Here, lay down. There you go. No, I will not wear a dress bag now. I just took out the trash, though. Oh! Chairs! Oh my god. Okay, a chair moving isn't so scary as, like, a chair moving right when you're gonna sit on it. These ghosts need to, like, step up their game. You know what I mean? Like, yes, move a chair, whatever, move some furniture, but, like, move it while somebody, like, right when you're gonna sit down so your bony ass hits the ground. I don't know how this is demonic, though.
The images obtained by different security cameras speak for themselves. Our subscriber clarifies that these recordings are just a small compilation of what they have had to experience lately. With this evidence, without a doubt, we are in the presence of paranormal events. However, in this particular case, I believe they are not about spiritual entities, since according to some scholars on the subject, the ghosts of deceased people that die suddenly manifest without knowing that they are dead. They continue to live their normal life during the first 2 weeks, and then disappear. Everything contrary to what happens here, because our subscriber says that this situation has been out of control. Inexplicable events where people have even ended up hurt. which would be a clear indication of having the presence of a demon.
There you go. That's the problem. It's Microsoft XP. That's been the whole problem the whole time. You see that computer? That's why the chairs are moving.
In the school. Shocking footage that has the whole student body hanging by a thread. Number 2. Rebecca Nunez is responsible for sending me a strange clip that would be proof of an open secret that ran throughout the inhabitants of a remote town. In her email, she says that a few years ago, her aunt visited a beautiful rural area to disconnect from the city and spend a few days relaxing. But upon arrival, some farmers warned her about the presence of a strange creature that had been seen prowling many cabins at night. One of them even claimed to have seen this entity up close. He describes it as a human-shaped being, but with a body covered in hair and bright red
So they need to shave. Cue the Nair commercial.
eyes that would intimidate anyone. A strange being that wanders the area, so they warned her to not go out at night for any reason. Her aunt, as a believer in these things, took their advice and only went out for tours during the day. However, she never imagined that a short film she recorded in broad daylight would corroborate with those stories that were spread by word of mouth. Pay attention.
What the devil? What the fuck is that shit there? What is that? There it is there. That looks fake. That looks computer generated. Like, you could make the tiniest little shadow thing ever. Fake. 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 I don't know, maybe.
The locals were completely shocked to see this clip, as they assure that it is a dark demon that has harassed them, spreading terror throughout the community. They say that families have suffered from serious unexplained illnesses.
From legs?
The majority of the farmers are weary, and like never before, entire crops have been lost due to strangely dry.
Because of the legs. Because of the mysterious shadow legs.
Dying out. As expected, Rebecca's aunt took her vehicle and never went back, leaving this disturbing recording as a testimony and a reliable proof that a demon has this.
That kind of looks like, oh my god, I think I got into like one time a couple of years ago, like two-dimensional stick people. Yeah, there's an actual paranormal creature of, like, people see two-dimensional stick people. But it's not just like a black thing like running around. It's like it's described to like be sucking in like reality around it, like kind of like a black hole. And it's like super hot and it makes like a vibration noise. I don't know, it's so weird. We'll have like, I don't know. Yeah, that is weird ass shit. Two-dimensional stick people, I swear to God. It's an actual thing. It's going to attack you in your dreams. Wonder if I could find anything on it. Schmootube. Two-dimensional stick paranormal being. I don't know. Let's see. I swear there was like a whole thing on that. It's been like 2, maybe like 3 years since I looked at it. But I did like read into it. I'm like, this is bizarre. Two-dimensional stick being. Oh my god. Is this it?
Hello everyone. Before I begin, I just wanted to say that this channel isn't going to turn into videos of me just reading from 40 Times magazine, but when I was researching last week's Monsters Under the Bed video, I found descriptions of a strange entity that I wanted to investigate further. On 3 separate occasions, people had written to 40 Times to describe a frightening stick-like creature. They called it the Stickman or the Pin Man. It is depicted as if a child's drawing of a person has come to life.
That's what I hate about this. It's like, ooh, that's actually creepy. Way to take something super simple, okay, like Siren Head with like the sirens, like, way to take something simple and make it really fucking creepy. Fucking stick people. Oh my god, why?
Line drawing of a human figure walking and moving as if it were alive. The first letter came from N. Faber. They describe an encounter with an entity back in 2003. I used to walk to and from work each day, a journey of about 30 minutes through town. On my way back from work, I used to see, from the corner of my eye, a tall, dark, thin figure keeping pace with me. It stayed about 50 feet behind me. I was never able to see it directly, even though I turned around many times to try and catch it out. If I increased my pace, it fell behind, but very soon I would catch sight of it again, and it would be the same distance away from me as before. I'd say that it was about 7 or 8 feet tall and very thin, almost like a stick man. Its waist seemed to be only about 8 inches across.
Great.
It was very dark, but not black in colour, and looked two-dimensional, almost flat. Needless to say, it freaked me out.
Well, yeah.
Another letter, written by Colin Larkin, describes a very different kind of experience. He writes, "Back in 1978 or 79, when I was 4 or 5 years old, we lived in County Clare,
Yeah, this shit is weird already.
Ireland, renting a house from a local farmer. One night, my elder brother and sister ushered me out into the hall whilst playing a game. I clearly remember being scared and saw coming from my right a tall, white stick man walking extremely quickly as if in fast forward. It was very similar to the one in the titles of the TV programme The Saint, only he had a black goatee beard and flowing moustache.
No, stop it. You've got to be kidding me. Really? No, nobody saw that.
Much like Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon. Another time, shortly after this, we were playing football in the early evening outside my great-uncle Johnny's house when the ball went around the back. As I went to fetch it, I saw the stick man again, walking around the gable end of the house, again very quickly. I screamed, and my mum recalls running from the local well to the house and finding me absolutely terrified, being comforted by my great-uncle and brother. This description prompted Brenda Ray to write in.
I don't know. If I saw something like that, I'd just assume I just like smoked enough. I don't know. It's like, alright.
Because she too had encountered a very similar entity.
This sounds like I don't, this is nothing I would see in like real life or whatever, like when I'm awake, but like this is something I would dream about that would seem really frightening in my dream, but then when I wake up and think about it, I'd be like, well, that seems really ridiculous, so. Yeah, there's no stickmen. There's a collective unconscious, like, hallucinations, but there is no stickmen.
She was 7 or 8 years old. She recounts her experience.
I just don't like that idea of stickmen. It's very creepy.
One night, I awoke to find a bizarre creature standing near the foot of the bed. It looked like a Pin Man drawing, very like the illustrations in the Saints books, which I was then too young to have read. It was whitish and phosphorescent, and seemed to have just an empty circle for a head, yet I felt it did have some sort of expression, and not a nice one. As I watched,
Ew.
paralysed with...
Why is it not nice? What do we do? What, because we're more dimensional?
Right.
That's dimensionists.
It began to jump up and down. At this point I must have screamed, and the parents came running. Of course, there was nothing there. I was really traumatised, and it took me ages to cast the image out of my mind. I was certain it wasn't a dream. These tales of a two-dimensional entity intrigued me. Whilst it is quite common to hear reports of shadow people, Slender Man, and the Hat Man, this Pin
Shadow people and the Hat Man creep me out.
Man was
That's shit that scared me as a little kid.
something I had not heard of before. I decided to look into it further to see if I could find any other people who had encountered this creature. A quick Google search brings up many similar stories. It seems that a lot of people have met this stick figure and have given it a name, the Black Stick Man. The earliest reference to these figures I can find is a 2009 List First article titled Top 10 Bizarre Modern Paranormal Phenomena. Number 3 in the article is titled Black Stick Men and describes them as follows. The Black Stick Man is another entity encountered in modern times, not to be confused with the Shadow Man. Incredibly, he is even stranger. Stickmen are supposed to look like totally black, thin, stick figure drawings, such as teachers make in kindergarten. They have been reported as between average height to impossibly tall. Their heads are just a black circle with no facial features being discernible. They are totally two-dimensional.
I don't like that. Why are people doing that? Why are people imagining this? Stop it. I order you to stop.
Without any depth. Usually they've been sighted walking along roads at night, or at transitional times such as twilight or just before dawn. Bizarrely, some have reported them wearing what appears to be a top hat. Their walk is described as a weird lolloping gait. They are surprised when actually seen, and have followed unfortunate witnesses on occasion.
Why would they? Okay, so why? Obviously, I'm not condoning that these things actually exist, but under just the imagination of them existing, why would they be surprised that we see them when they just lolloply gape through our dimension? What do you mean?
Their pace remains leisurely as they approach. Obviously, to be pursued by such an otherworldly creature would be anything but pleasant, and those who have encountered them have been understandably
if they're pissed and they don't like us and they don't want to be seen, what are they doing then?
terrified. So far, however, apart from being bizarrely frightening, they have done no physical harm and ultimately just disappear. What is interesting about this article
They're just well, I never. And disappear.
is that although they describe it as a modern phenomena, I cannot find any earlier reference to the Stickman, so I cannot work out where the author of the article heard about this phenomena. One website says that the Stickman entities have been discussed on internet message boards since around 2008, but either those discussions have now been deleted, or my research skills are just not good enough to find them. Since the article was published, many people have come forward to tell of their own encounters with the Black Stickman. In most cases, they probably thought nobody would believe them, but after the List First article, they realised that they were not alone, and that other people had seen the same thing. One report from an anonymous poster gives a very detailed and level-headed description of the Stickman. In the early hours of a weekday morning, when I was living in London as a student back in the early 1990s, I was walking back from a friend's house, where another friend, Sue, and myself had spent a whole night talking and revising with a couple of other people. No drugs or alcohol had been involved, other than coffee. Sue lived some way away, so I'd offered to let her crash over at my place. Dawn was just breaking as we turned onto my street. We were very tired and didn't say much to each other until I spotted a man walking up towards us on the same path some distance away.
Samantha's like, how detailed can a stickman description be, right? It looks like a stickman. Interesting. Any other details? No, it just looks like a stick man. You know, just sticks. The Mac Geek. Hello, says I saw a stick bug once. They're creepy too. They're not creepy, but they're really interesting. They don't fool me though. I've seen a couple of stick bugs. I think they're really funny. They try really hard to look like a stick, and it doesn't work out.
I didn't think anything of it. In a city like London, people are up and about at all hours, and besides, weren't we? He could have been a milkman, a refuse collector.
We should go. Alright, I would love to. Oh my god. How awesome would it be to one day where I'd be able to do like live streams, but like out in the wilderness, you know? It's like, let's go stickman hunting. let's take a camera and go. Let's go find the stickman like immediately. And then most likely I'll just get massively frightened by like a deer or like a raccoon or something.
A night shift worker heading home. We walked towards the man and he walked towards us. My home was between us. I began to feel uneasy. I still to this day don't know why
Whenever you come across a weird paranormal entity, always assert your dominance. Run and punch first.
Said what I did, but I turned to Sue and the following conversation took place in whispers. Sue, you see that man? Yes. Well, this is going to sound weird. He isn't a man, is he? No. Did I just say that? You did, and he isn't. The figure we had taken to be a man had changed, as if a glamour had been lifted. What we saw was humanoid in shape, about 5 feet tall, with very long arms but short legs. It was a black silhouette, very thin looking. I've often described it since as being similar to the stick man, which is often used on bathroom doors to tell you that you're entering the men's room.
That's weird. I'm sorry. Like, is the human race just seeing that too much at, like, stop signs at crosswalks and, like, in the bathrooms? Like, is this, like, a self-report of, like, conservatives being afraid of the bathroom situation getting out of hand? Like, we're seeing, like, genderless stick people. Like, what is happening here? Are you scratchy? What's going on? Do you need a treat? Do you want a treat? Okay, sorry. I have my doggy friend. He needs a treat. I'm going to give him a treat and I shall be back. Hold on.
When I say black, I mean black. No light, no shade, nothing but a void. It was as if someone had taken a cookie cutter and had shaped a hole in reality in the shape of something almost...
It's the gingerbread man!
But not quite human.
Do
The
you
creature
know
seemed
the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man!
to be... Well, I've used the word lolloping before now, which isn't really a word, but denotes the dancing, jolly steps it was taking as it walked. It stopped. Both Sue and I felt the creature had realised we could see it for what it really was, rather than what we were supposed to see. It turned, or
What are we supposed to see, if that's your real form?
seemed to turn ever so slightly, and it was then that we could see that the creature wasn't three-dimensional. It was flat, so much so that turning made parts of it vanish from before our eyes, until it turned back to fully face us once more. We freaked. We ran away without discussion.
Okay, so ultimately I think this is just like some sort of collective hallucination. However, what I'm curious about on the human subconscious, like, what does that mean? Like, why are we doing that? Like, what's that all about? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
I got my key out and fumbled with the front door of my home, which was a big Victorian house covered in flats. I lived on the middle floor. Sue behind me urged me to hurry. We were both terrified. I got the door unlocked. We dashed inside, closed and locked it again.
Oh, stop it, Mark. That's creepy. How do we know when it's facing us and like when it's facing away? Oh, that just made it way creepier. It's like you don't know. You don't know if you're getting ass or face.
We ran up the stairs and hid around the corner, like little children peeping at the big front door, which had two big glass panels through which we could see the front garden. The black stick man approached the door, and we could see its shape pressing up against the glass.
No! Oh, no. If I saw this shit when I was a kid, oh yeah, bet your ass I'd be like crying under my covers.
Just breathed. The creature looked through the first pane and then the other. I say looked. It had no eyes. It waited for what felt like an eternity before vanishing. 1 second it was there, the next it wasn't. It was a few minutes before either Sue or I could find the will to move and get ourselves into my living room to discuss what we had seen. We knew whatever it was alien, either from up there or sideways, but definitely not from the world we knew and felt comfortable with. There are many more stories of people encountering this creature. There's too many to fit into one video. All you have to do is Google Black Stick Man and you can see for yourself. It is always described as being two-dimensional and being surprised that people can see it. Many report feeling a strange sense of unease or fear just before seeing the stick man, as if it exudes an unearthly aura. Another common feature is the stick.
Well, doesn't that just... If you're feeling something strange before you see something strange, doesn't that mean there's like something happening in your avatar?
Man's odd
I'm not a
movements,
doctor.
with him skipping along jauntily, lolloping, jumping up and down, or walking as if in fast forward. Something about the way this creature moves is weird enough to stain people's minds. All these eyewitness testimonies are very interesting, but has the stick man ever been captured on camera?
It's the weird, like, walking and fast forward. If I saw that, I'd be like, gah! It's time to go to sleep. It's time to take a nap. It's time to lay down. Call your psychiatrist in the morning.
There are actually a number of photos and videos purporting to show the entity. This footage comes from Moscow. It has been dubbed either the Russian Slender Man or the Russian Stick Man. Whilst impressive, it is only the low-resolution night footage that looks convincing to me. The higher resolution daytime footage looks suspiciously like a computer-generated image. There are many videos debunking this footage, and a few that claim that the film is real. This one analyses the window reflections in an attempt to show how the footage is not faked. Whether or not this recording is a hoax, it definitely shows a three-dimensional entity, and not the two-dimensional stickman that people have been reporting. This video was recorded by the CR Paranormal Investigation Team. During an EVP session, the camera operator pans the camera to the corner of the room where cold spots have been reported. For a brief moment, what looks like an impossibly thin, stick-like figure seems to run past the camera. Could this be evidence of a stickman finally caught on tape? I'll put a link to the full video.
Little bits and wisps of, like, cobweb and spiderweb, like, they can just, like, float because they're so light. I feel like this is what that was. That was disappointing. Come on.
In the description so you can see the raw footage and decide for yourself. In one of the first videos I uploaded to this channel,
I've decided it's crap.
I may have unwittingly featured some footage of a stickman. This is a clip from my video titled Real Gnomes and Fairies Caught on Tape. As you can see, the footage is very low quality, coming from a time before HD cameras were in common usage. The creature in the video has been...
I'm sorry, we live in 2020 and 2. 20 and 2? We live in 2022. Why, in God's name, do we not have better footage of supposed ghosts?
Described as either an alien or some kind of fairy-like entity. Its thin, two-dimensional appearance and its odd, lolloping gait reminds me of many of the reports of stickman encounters. There are other videos on YouTube of stickmen encounters. Most have been uploaded as a joke or are obvious hoaxes, so I didn't include them in this video.
Stickmen. Stickmen. What a weird concept. What a weird ass concept. And they're always like, anytime you like find any morsel about stick people, it's always an unpleasant encounter. Alright.
Decided to stay in that place. What really could have happened here? Could a simple coincidence or confusion cause all of this?
What happened?
Have they done something to expel this nefarious being?
Oh my goodness.
Questions that for now have no answers.
We have no answers to these questions.
Number 1. We end this video with not one, but two disturbing footage that cannot be left out. The first of them corresponds to a video of a woman who began to record her daughter when she seemed to be talking to another person. Thinking
nope. Creepy. So creepy. It's so creepy when it's kids.
It was a typical imaginary friend. She called her over to ask her who she was talking to, without imagining that later, and when reviewing the recording, they would find something absolutely horrific.
Lorelei, come here. Lorelei, who are you playing
What the fuck? That was not a regular shadow.
Lorelei, come here.
What
Lorelei,
the
who are you playing with? What are you doing?
That's actually pretty interesting.
At that moment, the mother did not notice that strange shadow that crosses the background, realizing it only the next day when she saw the recording. She assures that that day, she was alone with her daughter.
Yeah, that's...
Could it be a demon instead of an imaginary friend? Clearly, no hypothesis
Are you
can
sure
be
you don't have
ruled
any
out.
other kids? Like, what's
The
going on
second
there?
recording that I will show you below corresponds to the disturbing presence of a being that was captured in a forest by a man while he was taking photographs of nature. A strange entity that, according to him, he
Look at this beautiful quality here. So sharp.
had never seen before. Observe.
Nope. Don't want to see that shit in the woods. Oh my gosh, I basically live in the woods. I hate this kind of wood-based shit. Don't be looking at me.
The most shocking of all was that in that same place, symbols and rad dolls.
See, I would do something weird, like, I don't know, just to, like, I'd, like, flip it off, like, I'd give it the bird, like, I don't know, like, I'd just be like, what, motherfucker, grabbing my crotch, like, what? What you looking at?
Were later found, as if here dark ceremonies and rituals were carried out. Could that creature be the result?
What's the name? Like catching the ghost lacking.
No one noticed a thing. No one noticed.
Trying to catch the ghost lacking. This is me. Fuck yeah. Catching that shit.
Day one of trying to catch my ghost lacking. Day one of trying to catch my ghost lacking. Day one of trying to catch my ghost lacking. Day one of trying to catch my ghost lacking.
Fuck them. Fuck those ghosts. What the fucking light in a fucking cocktail there?
Yes, nice spoon. Oh, my back. Oh.
That's okay. That's more realistic. This is more like me.
Yes, nice spoon. Oh, my back. Oh, dang, I gotta stop doing that.
Oh, my back. What?
Of those ceremonies? Let me know what you think in the comment box. Because this video has come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay.
Great, good for you. Well, should we watch cursed YouTube videos? Do you want to watch cursed YouTube videos with chills before we sign off? Okay, this is with chills though, so if we want to watch the thing like by itself. What's the thing behind me? All right.
Make a last-minute warning to the audience not to watch language. The English translation underneath only says, "Don't open your eyes." Whoever created this video appears to be trying to make a last-minute warning to the audience not to watch this cursed footage, presumably out of concern for their safety. A skinny figure is walking in place while creepy noises play, fade to black. Now we are looking through the eyes of some sort of stalker as he wanders around a house. We hear insane noises that are probably subliminal messages loaded with instructions of things that we would never want to intentionally do. It's almost as if we are in the mind of a mentally ill person ourselves. As we grab a doorway with one scaly hand, we can see that we are not in the body of a burglar, but of a monster instead. It soon becomes clear that we are wandering inside the house of a sleeping family while carrying a knife. An old-timey song starts to play. It's hard to make out what they are singing about, something about the boogeyman.
My name is Chills.
We are presumably the boogeyman tonight. As the family is viciously slaughtered, the camera keeps returning on a piece of meat.
Interesting. This is it. Let's watch. Let's get cursed tonight. Final round. We're getting cursed right now. Don't open your eyes. Wait, is it playing? No, it is. Ah! weird. I gotta turn this up in my ear holes. Ah! The boogeyman. That's an interesting splice. I feel like most of these are just like student films, you know.
Boogeyman will very nearly jump out of his skin.
Interesting.
Here comes the boogeyman. Go.
I like the snappy, crackly thing. Oh, very cool.
Well, strange noises in it, the dark outline of videos one night, when he comes across a site that few people have ever seen before. He quickly downloads 3 videos and watches one of them before calling it a night. The file is just a quick clip that he doesn't think much of at the time. It's an animated short made somewhere in Japan. In it, the dark outline of a man is screaming while surrounded in red flames. His teeth, nose, and eyes are also red as the scream gets louder and his jaw opens wider. There is Japanese text before and after the clip, though Ash and Jackal can't understand what it says. It's a weird clip for sure, he thinks to himself, but he doesn't think much more of it and goes about daily life as normal. Several days later, he is on his phone in the bathroom when suddenly he hears a huge scream to his right. It takes him a second to realize that it's the same scream from the curse video that he watched some nights before. He thinks that maybe his wife is in the other room watching the video or something. The explanation doesn't make much sense, but it's the best one he can come up with at the time. Suddenly, his bathroom window starts to violently rattle and shake. He screams in surprise. He still doesn't truly believe that the curse video could be to blame. There's no such thing, he thinks to himself, so it must have been a gust of wind. He is surprised to find
we say that all the time,
and that his wife is asleep, so it couldn't have been her watching the video. Either he was going completely insane, or else he really had heard a scream just outside of his window. He wasn't sure which option sounded worse. Now determined to get to the bottom of this, Ash and Jackal goes back online to try and research more about the video, but he's surprised to find that the deep website is now gone. His browser history shows no sign of ever visiting there before. The video
the old appearing, disappearing building technique. Like, you bought this magic hat here and now you go to return it and it's gone. The building is no longer there. Same with this video. The video was there, you download it, and then you go back and it's gone.
Video, however, is still on his hard drive, so he uploads it onto YouTube. As far as he knows, this is the only copy of the cursed video left in existence. For better or worse, he posted the video in hopes that other people...
What a perfect premise for a cursed video. What a perfect premise as a YouTuber to be like, I found this video on the deep web and I downloaded it, and then when I went back to find it again, it was gone. So here's the only copy of it left. Like, that's a perfect premise. Hats off, sir.
Could verify that the curse is real. Someone told him that the Japanese writing in the beginning has poor grammar, but that translates into something about bringing harm to anyone who watches the video. He also says that you can make out someone saying something else in Japanese in the background, but he can't tell exactly what is being said. Number 8. This video may induce nightmares.
Alright, let's watch it. Let's get cursed. Level 2. Ah! Warning, we're gonna get fucking cursed, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Hey guys, Leo here. This video is going to be a bit less formal than normal. I just wanted to talk to you real quick about that video you just saw. So I got it from the deep web. I check out the deep web every now and again when I have some kind of morbid curiosity. I was looking for cursed videos.
Does anybody remember the era of deep web hype on YouTube? Like, maybe 5 years ago? It was amazing. Like, all these YouTubers went through this phase where they opened up mystery boxes. They bought off the deep web. And it was just like a box of gross shit, like a comb full of hair and like a tooth and like, I don't know, some used soap.
This was about one of 3 videos that I downloaded. Now, I just want to give you a warning.
Or like just a plastic glove that like somebody would pick up their dog shit with and like turn it inside out. I wish I would have been into the business of that back in the day, because I could have sold a bunch of gross ass shit for like oodles of money. Like, I could have sold like snake shit, like snake skins, like tarantula molts, but I don't have any of that shit anymore, so I missed out.
Don't go to the deep web unless you have a computer you're willing to get rid of. It is a place that will destroy your computer, so have a scrap computer if you're going there.
Yeah, no, it's true though. Like, don't be digging into deep web shit with your regular computer. Don't be doing it at all. Just don't, because you will get hacked and die.
Anyway, several days passed since I downloaded it, and I wasn't even thinking of it anymore. That's when it happened. I was sitting on the toilet, because of course I was, and there's a window to my right, and there's storm shutters on the outside I have closed, because I don't want anyone looking in my bathroom. Like, what if I want to have the window open or something? So I'm sitting in there, and all of a sudden I hear that noise from the video, and I start to get like really freaked out, like, what is going on here? And then, being the rational person that I am, I'm like, oh yeah, my wife's probably just watching that video or something, peeking around on the computer. So even though the noise goes on for a few seconds, I started calming down, and then the storm shutters start rattling. And I'm not gonna lie here, I let out a bit of a yelp, because I was startled. I couldn't help myself.
And you were conveniently on the shitter,
so
so
I
at
get
least if you felt like
laughing
shitting
at
yourself,
myself for
you're in
being
the
such an
right
idiot.
place.
Maybe it was just a strong gust of wind or whatever, right? It would have had to have been a hell of a gust of wind, but still. So I come out, and lo and behold, my wife was asleep. She was taking a nap. And so that was my experience. I don't know if like the video played itself somehow or something happened with my computer. I don't have any explanation for that. I just got freaked out though. Right. So with that freaked out, I went back to look at the original video again on the internet, just to see more information about it, see if I missed any details, just because it was really, you know, odd coincidence. I wanted to see what was written about it, and I could not find the site again. So
Sorry, I thought the
I
dog was
tried.
getting
I don't know
into shit.
if it's offline. I don't know if the name changed. I whatever the case is, I looked. I looked for a good hour.
No, so
just
that's
trying
it.
to
So that was it. Just this at the beginning. That's it. That one was boring. Come on.
Video descriptions don't get much clearer than the all-caps title of this haunted YouTube video. The channel's operator, Silver Carnivore, says that he isn't sure where this video comes from, but he suspects that it was found somewhere within the far reaches of the deep web. Perhaps it was even one of the 3 videos that Ashton Jackal downloaded in his story for number 9. The video starts out with what looks to be a skull on fire. It cuts to a random television clip, and then to a scary human-like face
That's
with
so
huge
metal.
eyes. A chimpanzee is getting ready to hit something with a stick, and then we see a dead body lying on the ground. There's medical footage, a faceless woman standing between 2 wind turbines, and some sort of quick animation from hell itself. A stop and start motion puppet with a long neck and mismatching eyes is talking to the viewer, but all we can hear are people screaming and talking loudly. The video then becomes more abstract before cutting to black. Now we see a girl heading upstairs. The voices all mercifully stop shouting. This is the only time that the video is silent. She turns around and the horrible voices all come back at full blast. We see someone getting their mouth stitched shut, and then a woman standing in the doorway. It ends with footage of lions feasting, and an expressionless woman with sensor bars over her eyes. The audio is equally terrifying.
Neat.
Static cuts in and out the entire time. It always sounds like you are just on the verge of understanding what the voices are trying to say, but then they become too garbled and static-filled again. Towards the end, you hear backwards chanting. It's a safe bet that hidden audio messages are everywhere. Only your subconscious can understand whatever it's being told. Silver Carnivore warns that whatever you do, do not watch this video just before you go to bed. If you do, you are almost certain to be cursed for the rest of your dreams.
Oh, you're gonna be cursed for the rest of your dreams if we watch this. Let's do it. Let's curse our dreams. Once she had a dream. I wonder if this was specifically made for this video, this claymation portion, or if this is a clip from something that's actually existing. Because sometimes there's like weird children's shows that exist where it's like they meant it not to be creepy, but it is. So I'm kind of curious. Yeah, well, okay, so everybody turn your noise down a bit, okay? Turn your noise down. I feel like, okay, I've made weird, creepy videos myself, and I feel like it is a tactic to put audio with it, because it is like weird imagery in of itself, but when you pair that with audio that's very unnerving, something that's like unbearable even to listen to, it gives it an added effect. Like, I feel like I've done that before purposefully, where it's like I've had some weird black and white imagery splicing back and forth, and I'm like, how can I make this more creepy? Oh, let me put some like high-pitched weird ass audio to it, something that's like you don't really even want to like listen to, like it's unbearable. Like, that's the point. It elicits like a heightened anxiety, you know, like it gets you going, it makes you anxious, so it gets your blood pressure going. So it's when scary movies do that, and this kind of stuff does that, keep that in mind. I don't know if it ever creeps you out, this kind of stuff, but it's like if they do that kind of noise, they're doing it on purpose to make you like unnerved. I don't know, let me just oversaturate my microphone and like scream into it. Oh, the old good backwards wording. Ah! Okay.
Number 7, Robert
Next!
the Doll messes up my camera. A YouTuber known as Johnny Flynn travels to Key West to visit...
Oh no, I've heard of this. this crazy possessed doll called Robert that's like insanely possessed, so much like even like the museum keepers are like, it kind of moves around on its own. You know, I had that issue too. I worked for a museum. I managed a museum, and we had a couple of things that did that as well, that would like turn or like slowly turn around. And we also had like these artifacts that were Native American and that sort of stuff. And some people were like, they're haunted, they're haunted. Well, guess what? Our museum was on top of a tunnel, like a tunnel where the tunnel underneath the museum was cars and trucks and semis and stuff. So the whole under part of the building was constantly vibrating, and thus everything was just slowly moving and rotating. And it was just really funny for some of the people who were like, it's haunted, they move on their own. It's like, no, we are like on top of a fucking tunnel that has traffic going through it.
Robert, a possessed doll with a supposedly evil soul. He knows that he has to ask Robert's permission to take video or photographs, otherwise
Fuck Robert. I'd be like, Robert, fuck you. I'm taking your picture, bitch.
he'll get cursed. Robert's curse is so
Bring it. I would love that. Like, curse me, bitch. What is that dipshit dog you have in your lap? Curse me, bitch.
serious that it's the first thing that the museum workers will tell visitors about as soon as they enter.
Nope. I am not asking permission. I am taking. You can't sign a waiver, Robert. You can't sign a waiver. I'm taking your picture.
You have to ask permission to film or tape Robert, or else bad things happen, they say. Exactly what he does to you all seems to depend on what mood the demonic doll is in at the time. Sometimes he will simply wipe
And I have moods too. You want to go, Robert? You want to go?
all of the photos from your camera or break it. Sometimes he will make sure that you get into the worst accident of your life instead. Even though Johnny Flynn politely asks for permission before filming, Robert decides to curse his camera anyway. After all, simply asking for permission is no way guarantees that it will be granted. The footage is heavily distorted and orbs float all around. Here's the twist. Not only did Robert not give Johnny Flynn permission to film, he also didn't give you permission to watch it. The page is filled with comments of people apologizing over and over again to Robert. You probably should apologize to him too. Hopefully he will have mercy on you for watching this clip.
Fuck you, Robert. Fuck you. I don't ask for no apologies, bitch.
Number 6, the viral video.
Let's see.
Hi, this is Johnny Flynn. I'm here with Robert.
Fuck you, Robert.
We asked for his permission pleasantly to record this video.
What's your name?
The movie Child's Play is actually
What is your name?
that he actually
Fuck you, Robert.
So here we are. I'm a little bit freaked out right now. I'm not even gonna lie about it. But I have my power headband on and my power balance bracelet, so we're feeling strong.
Yeah, not that big of a deal. Okay, moving on. Next.
This YouTube video was recently uploaded by someone named Tristan Lambert. This person claims to have found the video in their attic. They have
That's
no idea
weird.
who recorded it or why it
Bullshit. You did not find it in your attic. Oh, look at this video I created in my attic is here.
was there. The tape itself wasn't labeled and it looked fairly old. He sat down and pressed play. The first 20 seconds are completely pitch black and silent. Maybe the tape was blank. Then things suddenly took a dark turn. A figure with black skin materializes in front of the camera. The demon floats back and forth while chanting something backwards. It's hard to tell what he is saying, but he might be saying the word stop over and over. The demon eventually puts a gun to its head and pulls the trigger. He fades away while smiling and the chanting intensifies. Now it sounds like a song is being played backwards and slowed down. You can hear trumpets mixed with satanic voices. Tristan says that this video is cursed, quote, because it gets stuck in your head. First you can't
That's
stop
weird.
thinking about the strange song, and then you start seeing the demon's face whenever you close your eyes. Even if you try your hardest to put the video out of your mind,
I don't know.
it still comes back to haunt you until you can no longer sleep. The hidden messages are thought to be designed to make you feel suicidal over time. In fact, many people think this is a satanic tutorial guide instructing you to kill yourself. Exactly how much of this Tristan experienced himself and how he was able to beat this curse is not clear. Perhaps he didn't win and is now a slave to the curse himself. After all, why would he choose to upload such a harmful video to YouTube, if not to spread its effects? Number 5.
We'll see about that. What's going on, buddy? Are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared, puppy? Oh, you scared, puppy? What's going on? What's going on? You okay? You okay? What do you want? You want pets? Pet. Pet. Pet your booty. Pet, 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 pet. I got my doggy here. Pet. Pet. Pet your booty. Pet. 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 Pet your booty. Pet. 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 What? The video isn't available anymore. We can't even watch it. Lame. Okay. We have to move on.
5. Carl Mayer. This video is said to be heavily laced with subliminal messages and strange commands to commit forbidden and unspeakable acts. It starts out with twins holding hands as a girl's voice hits all kinds of different tones and pitches. She is laughing, but the overall atmosphere is evil instead of joyful. Flowers sit in a meadow that morphs into different colors and shapes before your very eyes. The video zooms in and out rapidly to confuse you even more. It's a dragged out effect that is meant to induce anxiety, and it works. At one point the madness finally seems to be calming down, but it's a fake out. A clown's face suddenly melts into vibrant colors and the high-pitched voices begin screaming even higher as the video becomes more distorted. Not much is known about this video aside from the reactions that it causes. People often claim to feel frustrated or aggravated after watching. Sometimes they even feel depressed or paranoid for days after. At the end of it, you're not sure what you just watched, but you...
I've watched plenty of shit that made me feel depressed and paranoid afterward. Bring it.
Just know that it wasn't something you were meant to see. One possibility for this video is that it's about a German...
Let's see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he is a cute doggy. Patricia says, cute dog. Lisa Gray says, your dog has the cutest fluffy tail. Thank you. He's a Turkish boy. He's a Turkish shepherd. Turkey shepherd.
Poet named Carl Mayer. There are some coincidences. First, the title shares his name. Second, Carl Mayer's brother painted landscapes, and landscapes are frequently shown throughout this video. There is also a painting of 3 European-looking figures who look to be from about the same time period as Carl Mayer was. Therefore, this video could have started out as a simple art project about the poet. Maybe the video started as an artistic interpretation of anger Carl Mayer felt when he was exiled to Switzerland for being too liberal during...
Whoa, this is so deep. What the fuck? Being too liberal during the German Revolution of 1849? Wow, this is getting deep.
The German Revolution of 1849. If so, then maybe the artist's video attracted the spirit of Carl Mayer and became cursed by his supernatural rage. Number 4, you have...
Okay. That's kind of more annoying than anything. I don't feel cursed. I feel annoyed. Does anybody else feel more annoyed than they do cursed? Yeah, it doesn't sound like a balloon. Like. It sounds like me as a 5-year-old with a microphone for the first time. And the echo effect. I have to pee. Hold on. I have to pee. Sorry to interrupt your curse. Sorry to interrupt your curse, but I have to pee. Ugh, you stuck your tongue, like, directly in my mouth. Hey, come here. Pet. Pet, 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 pet. Come here. Come here. Yes, yes. Hello, 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 hello. Can you go nap or something? Can you go nap? Why'd you go nap? Nap. Yes, what is on my shirt? Thank you. Get! Get! Now that I've been slobbered on. Jesus Lord. You're in your stinky fish breath. Ugh. Blech. Smelly. You're so smelly. Alright. More of my childhood tape playing with reverb and echo. Jesus Christ! This is bad. This is not scary, it's annoying. Okay, we're not finishing that curse. Sorry. Your curse has been cancelled.
"20 seconds to stop this cursed video." That's the name of a 2-minute clip uploaded by a YouTube channel called Repent Sinners. It starts with a warning that this video will enter your conscious and curse your sleep with horrible nightmares unless you stop watching right away. If you keep watching anyway, you'll see a boy walking around a cemetery with huge statues looking down on him. He asks one of the statues why, and then it closely zooms in on the statue's stone face for a disturbing response. A girl moans uneasily off camera, and then you see a demon figurine situated between two black candles. One of the cemetery statues is frowning now, and you suddenly get the feeling that some dark presence is about to make itself known. There's some soft whimpering off camera, and then a strange animal noise loops over and over again. The camera quickly cuts to a stuffed animal, and then it shows more satanic imagery. There's a brief clip of a cult ritual that ends when the man splits some sort of liquid into the face of a skeleton figure wearing long robes. The same man is later seen laughing maniacally at something that cannot be seen. Maybe he is overcome by emotion now that his ritual is complete. The video ends with a warning that is directed towards you. The warning says that a friend who died when they were young will visit in your dreams. Then they will ask you to follow them, but whatever you do, don't go with them. The video suddenly cuts off before it can say what will happen to you next if you do decide to go
whatever.
with them. Eventually,
I don't like curse videos with too many instructions. I mean, it's like you're already asking too much from me. The least you could do is make it simple.
Exactly when this deceptive nightmare will happen is never made clear. It could be today, it could be when you are far older. The slow-moving curse has all the time in the world. Number 3, do close 777.
Oh, let's watch it. You have 20 seconds to stop this video, because if you don't, this video will give you a horrible nightmare. We're gonna have horrible nightmares. Okay, woo! You have 10 seconds to stop it. Nope. I warn you. Enter my unconscious, bitch. I can barely even enter my own unconscious, okay? I'm barely scratching the surface of it. What makes you think you got any chance? I'm Hyperion, honey.
Why?
Why? Smack it, smack it. Spit on it. What? This is so kinky. Smack it, spit on it. Meh, fuck it. Boring. Except for the end with the kinky smacking and spitting.
7. This YouTube video was uploaded by a user in Brazil. They claim that the person shown in this video was once a psychic clairvoyant who possessed great powers. Her spells and predictions were so strong that just watching this recovered footage of her is enough to cause a lot of trouble for you. The video begins with a crude computer animation of a talking face that quickly transitions into some abstract shapes and colors. Strange, intense music starts to play. All of it makes little sense, but the effect is hypnotic. Suddenly, a jarring buzzing sound plays and you see a small starving woman tap dancing with an umbrella. She is tiny and looks to be near death. It's amazing that she even has the strength to stand.
Now that's just unpleasant.
As the video progresses, the whole scene starts to look more and more like a dangerous occult ritual than a choreographed dance routine. Her movements are jerky and odd, and her face looks pinched and scary as she clops around the small room. Split-second images of doll faces start to appear over the video out of nowhere. They have no eyes. A girl's voice starts to play in the background. She is singing long notes backwards, almost screaming. The twisted dancer starts to walk to the camera while staring at you with very little emotion on her face or in her eyes. As she grows closer, it somehow looks like she knows exactly what is going to happen to you in the near future, and that you deserve this fate. You can almost feel her in front of you as the video ends with her face as close as possible to your own. You hear a scream that sounds like a mix between a child and a wild beast, and then it's over. According to the uploader, this
Okay.
video causes whoever watches it to be haunted by nightmares and bad sleep. These are way worse than your
Okay.
standard nightmares. They are more like twisted visions than anything you've ever experienced before. It's as if you are being guided to a path of evil by paranormal forces that you can't understand and would never want to be able to. Number 2, WP kept KW.
Alright, let's see it. This might be the most, like, uncomfortable one, at least. Why? This one's actually creepy. Okay. Well, at least that one actually has some weird mystery. It's not so much like the footage itself, it's like, was that consensual from that person to do that performance? I don't know.
A YouTuber named IEE Wire first posted this video to prove once and for all that it really does exist. He said that he had a friend once tell him about a mysterious video that could be found on the internet if you search for WP kept KW. What was weird about this video is that it would only sometimes appear in the search results. Most of the time it simply wouldn't. It was as if the video was purposely being hidden by YouTube, or maybe it even had a mind of its own. After searching for 2 weeks, he still couldn't find the actual video. All he could find were strange stories that others had posted after they'd seen the video for themselves.
What? But nobody has the original thing?
Talking just before death, while others thought that they were watching.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I think I remember this when this was when this was circulating on the hot. When it was hotly circulating. Yeah. This is actually really weird for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it's got to be fake. There's got to be an explanation. I don't know what's going on, but it is weird, like, the actual video itself. I remember seeing this years ago, and I'm just like, what is this?
A government worker making a confession about an experiment gone bad. Still, he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, so he did not fully believe it could be true, even though he was starting to doubt that the video even existed at all. There was an honest friend who had told him about it, and he wanted it to be true. He decided to search for the video a couple more times, and to his surprise, the cursed thumbnail magically popped up in front of him. He clicked on the link, not sure what to think now. A blurred face against a white backdrop filled his screen. The unfocused image appeared to be speaking urgently as a harsh noise blasted through his speakers. The voice itself sounded encrypted by some advanced form of technology. IEE Wire quickly saved the video
No,
and uploaded
not
it onto
advanced
YouTube
technology.
so that
It's
others
just
could see that the
weird.
myth was real. He was glad that he did this because, sure enough, he couldn't find the original video when he searched for it again a short while later. He was hoping that maybe others could shed some light on this strange mystery, but his contribution only seems to have made things worse. The blurred face started to haunt him beginning that very same night. He was alone on his computer when the image appeared on his screen over and over again. He thought someone was playing a joke until he put two and two together and realized that he probably was cursed.
Well, he probably downloaded some sort of virus that, like, made that shit pop up on his computer, like, all the time. Which is unnerving and not happy.
First, he grabbed his iPhone to record the paranormal activity for evidence. He was on his home page when the blurred face appeared on his computer no less than 4 times. On the 4th and final time, the face makes a hissing noise that simultaneously sounds like it's coming from both the speakers and from the same room that he's in. He yells and backs away. IEE Wire deleted everything on his computer in an attempt to hopefully delete the curse as well. There's no word as to whether or not the plan worked. Meanwhile, the WP Kept KW video is now readily available thanks to multiple backup copies that are available online. These clone videos appear to carry the curse as well and have been causing problems for the majority of people who have watched them. Even if you only watch 1 second of the video, it's still apparently enough to be hopelessly cursed.
1 second of the video will make you hopelessly cursed.
Even though many people who have watched this video and analyzed it using the best software available, no one has any idea what the figure in the video is trying to say. Maybe it is a curse, maybe it's a warning. Either way, bad things seem to follow. Bonus.
Let's do it. Wait.
This real cursed video. This video advertises.
Let's do it. Let's get cursed. The cursed video. Good night, everybody. Hope you're not cursed in your dreams. Let's see what's so cursed. Oh, all of this. Let's see. I read that some people saw the video, but it only showed up once, so whenever I searched for it, I recorded my screen. I finally saw the video. On the surface, it wasn't scary as I thought, but for some reason, I was too scared to search for it again. I felt unsafe watching it. Bah! Sorry. Here's the recording. Warning, I am not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of watching this video. We are all fucked. You see that, like, sound thing that I mentioned? It's like if you make an unpleasant sound, that already makes your nerves, like, and your brain go a certain direction. So it's like, when you're aware of that, these things are less scary. It's like, okay, like, they're purposefully trying to unnerve me. So immediately it's just like a blurred image and this weird high-pitched sound where it's like, oh, instant ghosts in my apartment, ah! Man, that's old school YouTube. And now it's gone. I tried looking at the YouTube channel later, but I couldn't find it. Afterwards, I was on the computer, and that image kept appearing on my screen. Ah! I grabbed my phone to record what was happening. I wasn't prepared for what happened. Now I am really scared to be alone on the computer. Ah! Yeah, that's got to be some sort of like computer virus or something that just like will randomly appear on your computer screen. Good old days. After uploading this video, I am going to delete all traces of the video from my computer. I'm hoping this will undo the curse. I don't want to know any more about this video at all. Ah! Okay, we are just about done.
As itself is cursed. It's really just a chilling mind trick, but it is certainly worth a mention. This video combines aerial frequencies with moving images and hidden messages to induce the viewer.
Oh, I love this shit. What, mind tricks? Oh, great. Okay, I'm down.
Into an altered state of mind. People who have watched this video often mistake it for being cursed because this video plays frequencies that are designed to interfere with our natural brain waves and overstimulate our senses. As such, people often report that they have felt numbness or even a static electricity sensation under their skin while watching, or perhaps the video really is cursed.
I've seen
There's just
this.
no way to tell for certain. Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what it's been on YouTube for years and has since grown famous. Suggestions. Number 1, Japanese commercial. Cursed videos can come in the least likely of places. Take this Japanese Kleenex commercial for example. It's been on YouTube for years and has since grown famous for its unique and bizarre curse. But before we get into that, let's talk about the commercial itself. Even without the curse, it's definitely a creepy piece of footage. A woman dressed in all white is sitting across from a red imp with woolly gray hair and a single horn. She appears to be comforting the creature, who has its arms crossed and looks upset about something.
It looks like it's a
At one point she leans over and it looks like they might kiss. The background is all red and they appear to be sitting on straw, almost like the floor of a manger. The song that Kleenex chose is quite weird too. There's no instruments, just a woman who is singing about how nice the night is and how great tomorrow is going to be. Exactly what is supposed to happen tomorrow is never made clear, but when combined with the devil, it definitely has some evil implications. As the commercial spreads throughout the internet, there was a rumor that the video itself becomes cursed if you try to watch it at midnight. A YouTuber named Shrouded Hand decided to watch the video at midnight to see what would happen. They were expecting to do away with the rumor once and for all, but instead they ended up confirming it instead. Shrouded Hand records their phone at 11:59 p.m. to verify the time. They open the video and press play. The Kleenex commercial plays through the entire time normally. Now it's midnight. Shrouded Hand presses play again. This time, the video starts to play like normal, but as the woman goes to release a wad of tissue in the air, the singing suddenly becomes low and evil. It sounds like Satan himself is singing about how fine the night is, and how fine tomorrow will be too. To some, it sounds like the heralding of the apocalypse. At the same time, the screen becomes pixelated, black and glitchy. The woman reaches for the amp twice as fast as before and appears to kiss him over and over. It's like she is worshipping him. Her face gets distorted and her eyes go black. Suddenly, 2 eyes appear on the screen and open as soon as the video ends. Some religious folks are convinced that this is yet another example of Satan using...
Another example of Satan. Okay, let's see. No, that one is that next to last one, Real Cursed video, that's actually some sort of, promo for a band. So let's watch the cursed Japanese commercial.
It's a fine day, people open windows, they leave their houses just for a short while. They walk by the grass and they look at the grass, they look at the sky. It's going to be a fine night tonight, it's going to be a fine day tomorrow. Kleenex tissue です。
Alright, so the first time you watch it before midnight, it's normal. Now you watch the commercial after midnight, and this is what you see. Ew. I don't think I'd like that if I experienced that. That's obvious, like, some sort of, like, uploading and deleting at the same time. And crappy internet connections, exactly. Cassie says, crappy internet connections weren't haunted. They were just weird. So, anyways. What time is it? Oh my goodness. Okay, yes. Alright, so I think that shall conclude our evening of spooky videos. And now that I'm nice and cursed, I think I would like, and now that it's like ending on Japanese sort of commercial, I think I'm going to sign off and make some udon noodles because that sounds delicious. I am nice and cursed and ready to have nightmares forever. We watched a ton of curse videos. We're cursed at least 10 times. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate it. It's Friday Night Chat, and next time we are going live will be Monday for a Mindful Monday stream. And I'll be going live at 4 p.m. Pacific time. But I really appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me tonight at Friday Night Chat and watching all this spooky content. And a big shout out to our moderators, Cassie, Philip, Mark, and I think Susan was here, I'm not sure. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much for all the super chats. And all the participation. I am going to be eating food and watching possibly more spooky videos. I don't know. Call me crazy. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And if you're worried about cursed dreams, swooshily, spooshily, spoosh. You are no longer cursed. You're fine. Alright. Good night, everybody. Good night. We'll see you Monday.
I'm a demon. I'm a demon.